Okay, so we see we see something interesting. Looking at the beginning of this week's parsha, especially when we compare it to the end of Parshas Vayechi. In the beginning of this week's parsha, we hear really for the first time Yaakov recedes into the background, and the Yaakov's children really take center stage. And we hear about the fight, we hear about the distance between Yosef and the rest of his brothers. And the other brothers are presented almost as this unified group. We know that at a certain point, Reuven takes a stand, Yehuda takes a stand. But for much of this opening narrative, we have Yosef on one side and the rest of the brothers together on the other side. The brothers are united against Yosef. If we jump ahead to the end of Parshas Vayechi, again, we see the brothers coming together. They're actually called together by Yaakov. When Yaakov is on his deathbed, he calls his family together, he calls the children together, and he wants to be Megal of the Kates, whatever that means. What he ends up doing is giving out brachos to each child, or he highlights, where Sham Shufal Hirsch says it, he highlights the individual characteristics of each child. Again, we have this sense of unity among all of Yaakov's children, but with the obvious difference of this time Yosef is included. I think there are two different types of unity here, which we're actually experiencing at least one of them now. There's a unity which is imposed from the outside, where you have you can have a group that's united against the common enemy. Sadly, in this instance, that was Yosef. The brothers felt that they were challenged enough by Yosef's presence that they joined together in order to almost fight against him. And essentially, that's what they did when they ended up throwing him into the pit. They're presented as the brothers together, working as one to get rid of this common threat. That is a form of unity, but it's obviously a very weak one. It has nothing to do with the internal qualities of the individuals. And once the external threat goes away, the individuals that made up that group are left just as separate as they were before the threat came on the scene. What we see by Yaakov is a different form, is a different type of unity. It's a unity which is much more intrinsic, much more internal, as opposed to imposed externally. Strikingly, with Yaakov identifying what each child is able to contribute to the nation, the pasuk that sums up the brachos is Ish Asher Kabir Chaso Beirach Osam. Every individual child got the bracha that would serve or contribute not to that individual shevet, but Beirach Osam. The bracha was meant to serve the entire Klal Yisrael, the entire Bnei Yisrael. So once every individual knows what they're contributing to the whole, then they become part of the team. And the unity of being part of the team is much stronger, is much more internal, and is much more long-lasting than the unity which is imposed from an external threat. So I think it's important to recognize that a lot of people have commented on and pointed out the immediate sense of achdus, of unity that was generated in the wake of the attacks on October 7th. As beautiful as that is, not to take away from that at all, we have to recognize that is, at least as of now, it's the externally imposed form of achdus. It's the achdus, it's the unity which is coming from without because of the threat of the war. What we should try to do is figure out how can we move from this lower form of externally imposed unity and bring ourselves to the much more intrinsic unity where we can recognize what each part of the nation, what each part of the klal is contributing to the team, and create this stronger, more real sense.
Okay, man, we have peace, victory, and security soon. See everybody tomorrow night at the same time, same place. Thanks so much.
Amen.